Hey Nash, what should we make?
Why don't you use that pesto we made and make pasta or something with it?
All right, let's make some Pesto Pasta Primavera. Today, we're making a Pesto Pasta Primavera. So it's summertime, so it's a nice light kind of a pesto pasta with a bunch of veggies, you know, because we got to make it healthy, right? And the cool thing about this dish is just like any Primavera, you can literally use the vegetables I'm gonna use, or you could totally use whatever you want or whatever you have in your fridge. So it comes together great. So it's an impressive dish. It's a good dish to cook for other people if you have some people over or for your spouse or kids or whatever. It's gonna be delicious. We can use that pesto we made recently. I'll drop the link down below in case you didn't see that video, but it's super easy to make. And you can use whatever leftovers you have in your fridge for the vegetables and whatever pasta you have. I think we're gonna use, I don't even remember what I got. We'll get to that in a second. But hey, without further ado, let's go. So with Primavera, besides the pesto and the pasta, the vegetables are the stars. Now we're gonna be using cherry tomatoes, some broccoli, and some spinach. But you can use whatever you want, or hey, get this, whatever you have in your fridge that you need to use or just wanna use or just need something. So literally the vegetables in this dish, use whatever you got or use whatever you want. Totally your call. So first things first, we chop our cherry tomatoes. Just gonna chop them in half. That's all we need. And we chop our broccoli. And so you think about this, we're looking for bite-sized pieces, folks. So I got all these. If we just chop the whole stalk off, get rid of that. Then we got these guys. I would say these are all kind of bite-sized pieces. Throw those in our little thing. And then this, chop the stalk off again, get rid of that. And then we got a bunch of little, this one maybe we chop in half. And there you go, bite-sized pieces. And then lastly, our spinach. Now with spinach, even though we're gonna let it wilt, so you know, it's gonna kind of reduce in size, but you don't really want like a giant leaf like that. So we're just gonna, you don't need to dice this, we're just gonna kind of rough chop it like this, and then like this. And that should be good. So now we're gonna make our sauce. So for our sauce, we're gonna start with a roux and then turn it into a bechamel. Now, these are fancy French terms, I know, and I am no chef. I'm just a home cook, guys. But a roux is simply flour and butter mixed together and cooked. It becomes a bechamel when you add milk. Simple as that. But these are the bases of most sauces. So we go in with about 2 tablespoons of butter. Once your butter melts, you wanna add in a tablespoon of flour, a little bit at a time. So we add a little bit, we whisk it in. What we're doing is we're just gonna kind of cook out that raw taste of the flour. And we add in 2/3 cup of milk. We whisk this. We season with a little bit of salt and some pepper. And we want to whisk this and cook it until it thickens. Once your sauce is thickened, kill the heat. And we add about a 1/2 cup of pesto. Stir it in. And if this mixture you have seems a little thick, don't worry about it, because as we cook our pasta, we're gonna reserve some of that pasta water, which is great for thinning out sauces, but also has some starch in it. Pasta water is a great addition to sauces, so we're gonna add a little bit of that here moving forward when we get there. So for now, we set this aside. Today we're using Celentani noodles. You can literally use any noodles you want for this dish. You could use rotini, you could use penne, you could use something fancy that I can't pronounce. You could probably use pappardelle. You could use spaghetti. It would change the kind of consistency of the dish, but it would still probably taste good. Like I said, you can use whatever you want. So we're using Celentani noodles. For this particular one, I have a pound of noodles. So I got 4 quarts of water in this thing. We're gonna salt this thing like the frickin' sea. And then once it comes to a boil, we are going to cook our pasta for 10 minutes, which is just shy of al dente. Don't mind the squeaky toy in the background. That's just Nash telling me to get a move on things because he's hungry. So our water's come to a boil. We are going to take our pasta and we are going to pour it all in there. Just gonna give it a little stir so nothing sticks together. And then we're gonna cook this for 10 minutes. So it's just shy of al dente. So while our pasta's cooking in a large pan on medium to medium high heat, a few glugs of avocado oil or whatever neutral oil you like. If you're a canola person or a vegetable person, hey, you do you. But avocado oil is better. Just saying. We're gonna let that get hot. Once your oil is nice and hot, depending on what vegetables you have, you gotta do the math and figure out which vegetables take longer to cook versus not very long. So we have actually a perfect 3-tiered system here. We have broccoli, tomatoes, and spinach. So the spinach is gonna cook super quick. So we're gonna put that in at the very end. Tomatoes are gonna cook pretty quick. So those go in towards the end. The broccoli is the hardiest, so it's gonna take the longest to cook. So we put that in first. Now, just like any dish, we want to season this in layers. So every time we add something, you want to just season a little bit. So don't go overboard, because then you're going to over season, over salt, whatever. It's going to taste bad. But you do want to season in layers. Every little thing that you cook should be seasoned at least a little bit on its own. And then that marriage of flavors is going to be more than the sum of its parts, if that makes any sense. So on this broccoli, we're just going to do a tiny little bit of salt and just a tiny bit of pepper. This is an audible. You don't have to do this. And don't do this unless it's roasted garlic, because if you throw in this much raw garlic, it's gonna taste, well, terrible. So I'm gonna throw in a bunch of roasted garlic here. And like I said, this is an audible. This is what I'm doing. Roasted garlic is a lot sweeter and more mild than regular garlic. What I'll do is I'll actually post the link to my roasted garlic video. So if you like this idea, you can do this. So we add our tomatoes. You see the tomatoes kind of deglaze that pan. Once your tomatoes start to slightly blister, then we're gonna add our spinach. Stir that around. As soon as our spinach starts to wilt, we can add in our pasta. Sort of mix everything in. And then once you have everything fairly well combined, then we can add in our sauce. And then we just stir to combine, make sure everything's coated. Make sure you've killed the heat at this point. Then we let this cool and we're ready to plate. So there's our Pesto Pasta Primavera. And then we're just gonna top it for some garnish with a little bit of Parmesan cheese and a little bit of basil. You could use parsley, you could use literally whatever you want. And there we have our delicious creamy Pesto Pasta Primavera that you can customize to whatever you want. Time for a bite. Cheers. She doesn't want to throw the fork. All right, what do you think?
It's really good.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. The vegetables all really combine really well, and the sauce is really creamy, and the pesto, it really is good.
But it's nice and light too.
It's nice and light, yeah.
Yeah, because it's summertime. It's almost 9 o'clock. It's still, what, 105 degrees outside. So you don't want something really heavy. And then, hey, like I said, whatever veggies you want to use, or whatever veggies you can use, or whatever veggies you have in your fridge that are about to go bad, or you're like, hey, I got to use these the next couple of days. Or they're, oh, this is a little sketchy. Oh. So yeah, you can use whatever you want. Make this your own. You want to add some meat, and whatever kind of pasta you want to use. Like I said, even spaghetti this would be fine.
Yeah.
It would be a little bit different, but it'd be fine. But hey, let's see what Nash thinks. Hey buddy, here's some of that pasta you requested. What do you think?
It's delicious. I think you should add some meat to that and fill my bowl.
Anything you want to say to your fans?
When adversity comes, receive it favorably.
Great advice. Mom approves, Nash approves, I approve. I think this is a great dish. It's good for summertime, but honestly it would taste good any time of the year because, you know, it gives you that kind of heartiness from the pasta, but with the veggies and the sauce, it's a real light dish, and it's just freaking awesome. And also it comes together in, if you could multitask, comes together in probably 20 minutes, maybe less. For those of you who are busy, it's a good weeknight meal. But hey, all that being said, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind taking a second to like, subscribe, and share the show, it would mean a lot to me, mean a lot to us. It'd help us out. If you want notifications every time we drop a new video, go ahead and hit that notification bell. If there's anything you want me to cook, you want me and Nash and possibly my parents to taste, or someone else that I bring into the show, go ahead and drop that in the comments, or head over to the website, timschaoskitchen.com. Send us a message there. And just remember, cook more, eat better, embrace the chaos. That's it for now, folks. Until next time, thanks. Peace.